What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews, and welcome to the biggest preview of the week. Coming up, it is a Grade 1 Haskell Stakes live from Monmouth Park this Saturday. A very exciting race, and made more exciting with the addition of journalism. The Preakness winner and runner-up in the Belmont Stakes, and, of course, the Kentucky Derby, entered into this year's Haskell. Let me just go ahead and put it up on the screen for you now. There it is. Like I said, field of 8 for this one. Race 12 on the card. I screw up there and show you race 12 here at Monmouth Park. 14 races in all. Going to be a great card for coverage of that day, whether it be free picks or premium picks, Samo bombs, rockets, or a betting Bible. You can go over to racingdudes.com and get that. We'll have this day covered in full with all of those products. The betting Bibles are back at Monmouth this weekend. All right, like I said, field of 8 here for the Haskell. It is race 12 on this card. It's going to be a very fun race, no doubt about it, because journalism is here, and we'll see if he can do it, and we'll see if anybody has kind of improved since we last saw them. All right, the number 1 bracket buster is where we'll start. He certainly improved last time out, did he? Wow, I mean, unbelievable. Winning the Naira Bets Pegasus Stakes right here at Monmouth Park. That is the local prep for the Haskell, and he was able to win it, and win it just running away from the competition. Now, kind of the good news is that. The bad news is we really hadn't seen that from him. And I'm not saying he hasn't been like very good or anything like that. I think he's always been kind of solid, right? Took 3 times, but did break the maiden nicely at Keeneland. Ran 5th in the Street Sense Stakes. Whatever. Ran 2nd in the Lexington. Not bad. And then 7th in an allowance race where he just never really got involved before winning the Pegasus Stakes last time out. Do we believe in him as he rises up in competition today? Do we think he can kind of run back to that effort? Those are the big questions. You see there, he is 10-1, and thank you to Monmouth Park, by the way, to get the morning line odds out for this immediately. You see on the morning line odds there, as you see on the right-hand column, he is 10-1. So you are getting paid. If you're going to think that he can do it, and he does do it, you will get paid. But I'm kind of let's see if he can do it against tougher competition. Wait and see for me in this one. The number 2 is journalism, 4-5 favorite on the morning line, deservingly so. I would imagine he's going to go off shorter than that, probably more like 1-2 or 2-5 once post time gets here. I don't know. I'm wrong sometimes on odds for sure. Not a very good guesser of what odds are going to be, but he's going to be a heavy favorite no matter what you look at. Probably going to have to, if you have him on top, use him on top in an exacto or play a daily double with him singled in one leg and hook him on to somebody either before or after in race 11 or 13. But look, I'm going to just be very blunt about it. If you followed me all through, when did he come back? March of last year or February of last year, one or the other. I mean, I pretty much just pick him every time. And I picked him in all 3 of the Triple Crown races. Now, he only won 1 out of the 3. But I felt like, he gave us winning efforts in the 2 that he lost. Just got beat by a better horse. And I'll just kind of carry on with, at this moment, if he runs back to his Belmont Stakes performance, I think there's only one horse in the country that can beat him in his 3-year-old division, I should say, and that is Sovereignty, and Sovereignty is not here. So journalism, going to be hard for me to pick against him. Let's put it that way. The other thing, and the biggest thing, and this I said this at the Belmont Stakes as well, there's just no reason to run in this race unless he's doing exceptionally well. And think about it, this race even more so than the Belmont, because while I said, hey, he's got to be doing extremely well or they wouldn't run him in the Belmont, it's still the Belmont. There still is that, hey, they want to run here. The Haskell is a great race, and I'm not knocking it at all. I love the Haskell. I love Monmouth Park. But if your horse that just ran in all 3 Triple Crown races wasn't doing quite 100%, this is not a race that they would rush him for. And that's what I mean by that. So the fact that he's here tells me they believe he will fire a big effort. And if he fires a big effort, the rest of these horses will have a ton of trouble beating him. So journalism here, number 2, going to be very tough to beat. I thought he ran the best race of his career in the Belmont Stakes and got beat. So we'll see if he can run another big one and get the job done this time around. The number 3 is Wild and Crazy Night. So this is a New Jersey bred running the Haskell Stakes, and that's always kind of cool. I like that when the state breds run in the biggest race here in the state. 2nd in the Pegasus last time out, the local prep. He ran okay. He just was not anywhere near what Bracket Buster was. An allowance win 2 races back right here at Monmouth Park. Had ran 4 or 5 times there at Oakland Park over the winter/spring. No wins, but kind of competitive in a couple of efforts. But 31 on the morning line and probably should be on the outside looking in for me. No doubt about it. All right, let's keep going to the number 4, Burnham Square. Burnham Square comes up here at number 4. And this is a horse that I think's dangerous in this spot. If you're looking for an alternative, he's one that I would prefer. He is the one I would prefer, is how I should have worded that. Look, came out and, was able to win a race down there in Florida early on in the season, a prep race there, the Holy Bull, and then came and won the Bluegrass there at Keeneland. So a couple of nice wins. Last time out, Matt Wynn just kind of never got a chance to run. It was a weird race. They just kind of ran in place all the way around the track, but he didn't run bad in that one either. I think he's got a chance to get better as we go along. I like him a little bit in this spot. If I was going to play a straight exacta, which I very well could be doing, I think the 2 over the 4, Journalism over Burnham Square, makes sense in this spot. I really like him here. I think he'll show up and run very well. The number 5 is National Law. He gets Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard. That is the good news. The bad news is he just looks to be overmatched in this spot. I was surprised that Irad got aboard here. Ran last time out and really wasn't. Another one of those ones, kind of the also rans when running last time out in the Pegasus. This horse was 4th. Did win an allowance at Pimlico and broke the maiden at Parks, but again, what does that really mean as far as coming here to run in this one? I'm not quite sure, right? So we'll just kind of have to monitor that situation, but he's not one for me. Surprised Irad gets aboard. Kind of a toss as far as I'm concerned. The number 6 is Gossker. This was the horse that nearly won the Preakness after Journalism almost went down because of some questionable tactics by Umberto Rispoli, when we'll leave it at that and move on. But Gossker was almost the benefit of all of it. He almost took him all the way, got caught there at the last. The good news is I think Gossker is getting better and better with each start. I think he's dangerous. The bad news is for Gossker, boy, if you didn't beat Journalism that day, it's going to be tough to beat him this day unless Journalism takes a major step backwards. So I think he's another one that makes a lot of sense underneath. If you're looking for an alternative, I mean, he does make sense as that as well. But can he get the job done? I think he's going to set the pace. I think he's going to the one they're going to have to catch. I think he can take him a long ways. I think he can hold on for a minor award for sure. But Journalism at his best, I don't think Gossker can beat him. The number 7 is Kentucky Outlaw, another one that just seems to be a little bit overmatched here. Flavian, he wishes. Florent Giroux gets the mount here on Kentucky Outlaw. Like I said, another kind of local-ish horse that, I don't know, it just seems to be a little bit overmatched. I think what kind of happened here is Journalism showed up. Well, some of the bigger horses that were pointing to it said, maybe another day. And some of the locals got in because of that and said, hey, it's a field of 8, it's a short field. Let's take a shot. Maybe we can hit the board. That's how I look at it with Kentucky Outlaw. And then finally, the number 8 is Goal Oriented. This horse trained by Bob Baffert with Flavian Pratt aboard. Of course, he was the other horse involved. There were 3 horses involved. He was one of the other horses involved in the Preakness mishap there. Goal Oriented is back. I thought he ran okay in the Preakness. I think he's a pretty good horse. And again, I think if you're going to support Journalism, you kind of have to choose between Burnham Square, Gossker, Goal Oriented, who you want to put in second. You can't really play them 2 or 3 because Journalism is going to be such a heavy favorite. So I kind of lean more towards Burnham Square, but I do think Goal Oriented getting Flavian Pratt aboard is a major, a major sign that the horse is doing pretty well. And Flavian Pratt running very, very well over at Saratoga. So I know it's the Haskell. I know it's a grade 1, and that appeal is there for Pratt. But he wouldn't come over for just anybody, in my opinion. So I think he likes Goal Oriented. This is the other one. I just think they've got to send this horse. Bob Baffert kind of mentioned he wanted him sit in the Preakness, and he was for a few strides, and then they kind of took back. I think they'll try to go to the front here with this one. I don't think he can hold off Journalism, but I do think out of all the horses, he has the most right to improve. He is very lightly raced, only 3 starts. Like I said, 2 wins, and then that Preakness effort, which, you kind of draw a line through it in some regards because of what happened and how hard he got bumped, but he still kind of ran on a little bit to get 4th. So anyway, I think he does have the right to improve. I think he's got to improve a decent amount to beat a horse like Journalism. So, all that being said, I am going to go with the number 2 Journalism. if you want to go against him, I do kind of feel like, yeah, maybe he just doesn't show up and run his race today. Like he's due for that, right? After what he's done. But again, I think for that crowd, that's always a possibility. And if you want to try to play it that way, you're taking a price and you're trying to balloon up a payout. And I'm never going to tell you no on that. I just have to, like, from a logic standpoint, and sometimes in horse racing, you throw logic out the window, but from a logic standpoint, it just feels to me like there's just no way they're going to bring him to run in the Haskell Stakes if they don't think he's doing exceptionally well. So I think journalism will show up and run his best race. And if he does, it's just going to take significant improvement from some of these horses to be able to beat him. He's just kind of in his own stratosphere minus Sovereignty, obviously, in his own stratosphere as well, right? So anyway, I think number 2 journalism shows up with a good effort, and I think he gets the job done. So number 2 journalism for me to win the Haskell. All right, guys, that'll do it for this preview. Hit that like button if you like it. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're playing Monmouth on Saturday.